What's going on, everyone? Welcome to In Play, where we talk about what's in play around sports today. I'm your host, Bryce Bautista, along with my two co-hosts, Jacob Redondo and Max Reyes.
Yo.
What's up, players?
This is this is our first episode of the podcast. Going to be a shorter one, just trying to work everything out. And let's go ahead and just get started with an introduction. As I said, I'm Bryce Bautista.
I'm Jacob Redondo.
I'm Max.
And we are all just friends living in San Diego, just wanting to talk sports with everyone.
Absolutely jacked out of our minds. All right, so what's in play today, Bryce?
First thing in play today is the start of MLB free agency. And with that, we already have a couple of moves. First off, the San Diego Padres re-signed relief pitcher Robert Suarez to a 5-year, $46 million deal. Jacob, you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that was priority number one for the Pods. We were all stressed out ever since the playoffs. We knew he was going to opt out, and we knew he was going to get money. I was concerned that he was going to get closer money, which he pretty much did. So according to SpotTrack.com, he is the 5th highest paid reliever. 6th highest paid, right behind Drew Pomeranz. That's the only thing that scares me about this deal. So, as we know, as Padre fans know, Drew Pomeranz, good COVID season. Nothing much else to show after that.
Because he's been injured, quite frankly, but still.
Right, but that's the scary thing about these contracts is you just don't know. And the good thing about Suarez, he's got a fresh arm. He was a rookie at 31 last year. Didn't really average many innings over in Japan, but you never know. Could be a 1-year sensation. You look at all these guys on the list, like Raisel Iglesias is the number 2 highest paid reliever right now, and he's not even a closer.
Well, there's a new number 1.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz. I'll take that. My thoughts about the Suarez deal, though, I think it's going to be good. Obviously, if he keeps up what he did last year, but even if he does a fraction of what he did towards the end of the season, it's going to be a good deal because he's probably going to be our closer next year for the Padres because Josh Hader is going to get probably close to, if not more, than Josh Hader.
And Edwin Diaz, you mean?
My bad. Yeah. Josh Hader could get close to or more than Edwin Diaz.
I totally see that too. Even though Josh Hader had a really rough year last year for most of it, he's still Josh Hader. He's still a top 3 reliever closer in the big leagues. Just whenever it is.
Generational talent.
He absolutely is. So I think he's going to get the bag next offseason. Max, what are your thoughts on the signing?
I like it. I think it has a $9.2 million average annual value. And I know a lot of people are scratching their heads calling it an overpay. But honestly, I think that's going to start to look more like a norm for some of these relievers, especially the guys who can throw 100. And we've seen them in the playoffs. People have to think this guy came over from Japan. We know his story, like what he came from. I want to run down some of these splits. April had a 4.66 ERA. And in May had a 2.25, June a 0, August a 3.2, September and October a 0. So he really just had a rough first month, and after that he was lights out.
Adding on April, probably mostly in parts of opening day. If you remember that disastrous.
Right.
Oh yeah, he had a 1.70 ERA. If you take opening day out of the equation,
I don't think he got an out opening day.
Here's another stat I want to bring in. In 21 home games, 24 innings pitched, 0 earned runs given up at Petco Park.
That's crazy. That's really
good.
So
I think you're paying $9 million for probably a top 5 setup man in the game right now. And to have that 8 and 9 with Suarez and Hader, that's huge. And then if you can get that 7th inning out of Luis Garcia, Drew Pomeranz, someone like that, honestly, the Padres bullpen looking pretty good.
And honestly, I think the Padres are at the point in which they have to take these risks, even if they're slightly overpays, because they're in a position to win a championship right now, and you never know how long that window is. You haven't locked up Soto for more than 2 years. I mean, I think it does get done in the end, but you don't know. I mean, this could be your best shot at winning a championship. Looks like Bryce left. So, I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I agree, but I don't think they're desperate. I think they have guys who they believe can, help that bullpen, whether it's, Michel Baez, Jose Castillo, Adrian Morejon, young guys like that. But I think Suarez, you can't let a guy that throws, 100 like that was like lights
No.
out. You can't let him go.
If I learned anything watching the postseason this year, you need guys that can hit high velocity and throw high velocity, and I just think that's how the game is now. I really think with this signing, it actually surprised me because I think Preller's strongest skill set is finding guys in the bullpen for cheap and finding them like out of nowhere, and that's not even guys that have played before. I mean, he's finding guys from Japan. Like, he got 2 guys from Japan last year that were major impacts on the team, and I was surprised by it, but I really do like the move because it's not just 1 year. I'm pretty confident that he's going to have a similar year. I think he'll have a sub-3 ERA. And I like the option of having, say you have some lefty, like the Dodgers, they got say they got Freeman coming up in the 8th. I would honestly like Hader going in the 8th, Suarez going in the 9th. I mean, I'm not sold on you can only have Hader pitch the 9th. And we learned that with Harper hitting the home run. And having 2 guys that are capable of throwing 100 plus and shutting in the door is what elite teams have. So
I think you both hit it right on the nail. I mean, we're looking at, like what you said, a 31-year-old rookie last year who's pitched not many innings in Japan, coming back to a bullpen that includes Josh Hader, a returning Drew Pomeranz, who, if he's healthy, he's one of the best lefties in baseball. Nah, I mean, Drew Pomeranz is the bro. I gotta stick up for my guy right there.
Yeah, whatever we can get from him is a positive from last year.
Exactly.
Guys just
And then
stealing money.
And then you got guys like Luis Garcia in there. You got guys like Michael Baez coming back. You got Tim Hill still with that funky delivery out of there. You're looking at a really good team. If they can get a couple more guys in the offseason free agency, including guys like Nick Martinez, who we're losing, we'll get more into that later. I think we're looking at a really good bullpen.
Do you mind if we talk about Nick Martinez real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So that is probably priority number 2 for the Padres, bringing him back. And I think he will ultimately come back.
Right now, absolutely.
I'm really confident that he's going to come back. That was the one guy I did think was going to come back. Suarez is just a big bonus.
Me too.
But I really like him out of the pen. I like him as that 6th starter / guy that could go 3 or 4 innings out of the pen. I don't know how you guys feel.
He is a utility pitcher. That's exactly what he is. He can start. He can come in for long relief. He can set up. He can come in for regular relief, and he can even close games. He had a couple of saves this year, if I remember.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. He definitely had like 5+ saves.
Yeah.
The thing that I know he's going to want to be a starter. That's the thing.
I know.
He's going to want to be the 5th starter, but I just like him out of the pen. That's the thing. I like the versatility. I don't want him with a set role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's the only thing that's holding him back from signing with us right now.
All right, so I have a question for you guys then. How much do you think that him wanting to be a starter plays into the contract negotiations?
I think that's the only thing that's holding him back right now from coming back to San Diego, because I think he didn't opt out until the deadline today, which, I mean, it means there was talks of him wanting to stay or whatnot. And even, like, I saw Dennis Lynn report earlier that him opting out was only due to time constraints, that they were still negotiating deals. So right. I think he wants to stay in
Right.
San Diego because, for one, we're a winning team right now. We made it to the NLCS this year. Two, he's got really good chemistry with the guys. And, like, that dude is electric on the field. I remember every time I watch him, he's going crazy, and it pumps everyone up. It's unbelievable. So I think the fact that there's no set in stone spot for him in the rotation or the bullpen, that he's still more so the hybrid, the utility guy, I think that's the only thing that's keeping him away from signing a deal at the current moment. But I think they'll work it out.
Well, I mean, how much more does he think he's going to get, though? You know, like I'm pretty certain he's staying. He'll probably get like 1 or 2 million plus extra on the deal.
Well,
I mean, he had what did he have? He had 20 million over 4 years.
I think it was 3 years, 18 million.
I'll look it up right now, but I think it was about
I want
that.
to say it was 20 million over 4 years, but I mean, like he's had one good year, you know, and it was a really good year, right? And he had multiple roles, so he's flexible. But the thing that I don't get is, like, how much more do you think you're going to get?
So he was at 4 years, 25 and a half.
Right. Okay.
Seeing
and they
as
had like an
Suarez-
option each year, I believe. So
Yeah. Seeing as Robert Suarez just got 446, personally, I could see Nick Martinez signing for 555, 560.
no.
Not with
He's
the
not getting
Padres.
that much.
Not with the Padres,
not
but
with
like
the Padres.
I see him.
But he's not like a certified starter though either, you know.
Exactly,
like, that's
but
starter money.
that brings value from him. He
And
can
how
start.
old is he? He's like 34, I think. 33,
No.
34.
No way.
Let me look
How
it up.
old is he? He can't be that old.
The thing with Martinez though is, you know, when he was starting, he was good.
He's 32.
But he didn't really start to shine until he moved into that bullpen spot.
That is
Right.
exactly it too. I do remember that.
The
He
main
was-
thing that Go ahead.
I don't know if I feel comfortable giving him, 10 plus million a year. I'm okay with something like nine a year. That's not too bad. I mean, that's a bump up. That's like 3 million more than what he had.
So 3 years, 30 mil. Does that do it for you?
330. Give me 330 with a
Club option.
club option on the third year.
I'm going 3 for 24 tops. 8 million
Tops.
a year.
8 million a year. But
I don't think he really, like, I love Nick Martinez, but I don't think he deserves more than that, to be honest. I mean, he had one good
So-
year.
are you saying Robert Suarez comes to that question also then? Are
Right,
you
but he's
saying
throwing 100 miles an hour though.
I get that, but Nick Martinez can do he is the manager's dream out of the bullpen. You can throw him whenever you
Right,
want.
out of the bullpen. He wants
Oh,
he
yes.
probably wants starter money, you know?
I'm sure he does, but like
And the thing that
330, you given Robert Suarez 546. I think 330 for Nick Martinez is a fair deal out of the bullpen, just because of what he brings to the table.
in all likelihood, Nick Martinez is your 4th or 5th starter.
Yeah. I could see him being on that like a team not like a team
No, I'm
contending
saying
right
for the
now.
Padres,
Like
I don't think he's leaving, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, in the beginning of the year, he was an okay starter, but he was getting knocked around, you know?
mhm.
I think his best ability is coming out of the pen because guys will see a starter like, say, Darvish, and it's just completely different pitchers. Or Snell throwing high 90s, mainly fastballs, and then Martinez can have that running change up, and guys are gonna be like, "What is this?" You know,
sinkers, the cutters. He has
Right,
movement
yeah.
on his pitches,
right?
and he puts the ball in play, and then the
Yeah,
defense
exactly.
can back him up.
Exactly. How many jams did he get out of this year?
Here-
A lot.
all right, here's
So
the thing that worries me about Nick Martinez. His four-seam fastball is
Straight.
his worst pitch.
So if he
Now-
doesn't have the changeup, he's done.
Now, are we talking Chris Paddock level of flat fastballs, or
Okay, Chris Paddock needed Tommy John for like 2 years. He's gonna be fine.
I don't know, man.
I really do think he's gonna be fine once he comes back.
Oh, I love Chris Paddock, but watching him
I
pitch,
think his brother totally messed him up.
but watching Chris
Yeah,
Paddock
walk around with a
pitch,
cowboy hat if you want to pitch. Like, come on. Dude.
I know a fastball
corny.
isn't supposed to move. It's a four-seam fastball, but
Not
his
in today's
fastball was so hittable.
in today's game, you got to have some cut or some run on your
No,
on your
exactly.
stuff.
Exactly. You can't just work with a four seam and a
Or you
curveball
need
like he did.
rise. You need
Right,
rise.
exactly.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I want Nick Martinez back in a Padre uniform. I mean, I'm
I
not
do
gonna
too.
I'm not gonna throw a fit if he's a starter, but
Mhm.
he's gonna be like a 5 inning guy.
Absolutely.
I would be absolutely mind blown if Nick Martinez was not a Padre come spring training.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
but
would too.
the only problem I see too is if he's a starter, you're losing a guy in Sean Manaea most likely that threw
And Clev.
160, 180 innings, Like
Yeah.
somebody's going to have to cover those innings. And if you have Snell and Nick Martinez in the same rotation with, say, an Adrian Morejon, you're going to be asking 5 innings out of 3 guys in your rotation.
Yeah.
And,
that
I don't know if that's a recipe for success, in my opinion.
that also goes to the Padres game plan this offseason. They're not going to get just one starter in return. They're going to be looking for 2. Like, they got to look for 2. Because after Snell, you've got Morejon, who'd be transitioning back to the starting rotation after working out of the pen this year. And then who you
Most
got?
likely, yeah.
Weather's coming up from the minors. He's not great. Reese Kinnear, he's that like spot start guy. I mean, you're going to need at least 1, but 2 is what they're looking for. Hands
You have
down.
a former first-round pick in Ryan Weathers, too.
Oh, I know, but like,
Fun fact: Bryce hates Brian Weathers.
I don't hate him. I don't like him, but he hasn't shown much.
He did show he basically had the Mackenzie Gore year last year, dominant in the first half, and then just got figured out
In 2021. You mean Chris Paddock?
No, Gore got figured out too.
Paddock got like figured out even worse. Paddock was like the best, like Nolan Ryan, its first month of the year, and then turned into.
That also goes into the poor analytic system that the Padres have, probably. So
yeah. So I think we're all in agreement. Nick Martinez has to be a Padre.
Yeah, Suarez and Martinez were priority number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Profar's gone.
Profar is gone. I could see Profar resigning, but honestly, I mean,
this is his last chance at getting a contract.
Yeah, I personally have him going to the White Sox, but that's something we can discuss at another time.
Yeah, that's another day. But yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about? Or
yeah, another move Padres made today. Austin Adams cleared waivers and is now a free agent. Kind of a shocker, in my opinion. I thought he was going to be one of those guys.
Did he clear?
Back.
I thought he got outrighted to. Okay.
No, he cleared. He's a free agent. So it's that was one of those moves that kind of shocked me, just because I thought he would be on his way back with Pomeranz next year. But
he had the same exact injury that Pomeranz had the year prior.
Worse.
So he waited he tried to get the injections into his elbow.
I mean, I was looking at it earlier.
He was set to be out till September, so it really makes no difference.
Exactly. When we traded for him in 2020, he pitched 2 games with us in 2020. Pitched a full year in 2021 where he led the league in hit by pitches. Like, not by a starter, by a reliever, but by any pitcher. As a reliever, he led the league in hit by pitches. His slider. That's his slider.
Rothschild was horrible for
that
San
too.
Diego.
And then this year he pitched 2 games beginning of the year, and now he's going to be out till September. So, I mean, I'm okay with letting Austin Adams go. He had really high upside just because of how nasty his slider was. But the fact you weren't going to have him until September, that didn't constitute a roster spot.
So does that go as a non-tender?
No, he just cleared waivers and they released his contract.
So does that hit our salary cap?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, that's a couple mil probably right there. Anyways, what were you going to say, Max?
Here is a guy that nobody's talking about that I can see being huge for the Padres next year. Steven Wilson.
Dude, what a year.
He had a great year.
I've told you guys what I want to see from Steven Wilson. I want to see him as a starter.
I remember beginning of the year when they're adding the 40-man and whatever to get from Rule 5. Obviously, Gore was on there, but I saw Steven Wilson. Was like, never heard of this guy before. And then, sure enough, he made the opening day roster, and he's been one of the more consistent starters for the Padres this year. He's had a little up, like a little down, little up, but like, what more can you ask for?
Now, I know this may sound like contradicting with I don't want 5-inning starters. I mean, but that is how the game goes. Mm-hmm. And Steven Wilson has that really above average fastball, and I would say close to elite slider for how inexperienced he was at the big league level. So I would love to see him extended out as a starter.
I mean, you looking back at what you said for like the 5-inning relievers, look what the Phillies did this offseason or this postseason. They had guys like Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez going 6 innings, 5-6 innings, and then just work their bullpen to the World Series. And honestly,
that's postseason ball. It's
it
different.
is absolutely. But
what I'm saying is, you're losing a guy in Sean Manaea that was
not
horrible
good
towards the second half, but he 8 innings big time.
Yeah, he did. You need a guy like that though.
Because we saw in 2021 when we burnt out our bullpen. I mean, it was so good in the first half, and then the second half it was
the rotation also.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's also why I want 6 or 7 starters like last year, because Joe had the half of his life, and you was great the whole year.
And honestly, that could have been possible this year if we hadn't made the Juan Soto trade. But hey, it's Juan Soto. I mean,
that's a whole nother
exactly.
Soto's going to be better next year.
Yeah, absolutely. So switching from Padres to just baseball in general, kind of other deal we had today, Clayton Kershaw back to the Dodgers. What are we thinking about that?
Do we know the dollar amount yet or no?
No, they just said they're nearing an agreement.
No, they're in a verbal agreement right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about it until I see the dollar amount. But I mean, I don't think I had him going anywhere.
No. And I mean, does the dollar amount really matter with the Dodgers?
No way.
So it's just another. I mean, could this be his last year?
I think it is. I think 1,000% is. I think
this year or next year.
I think what the dollar amount will show us is what exactly do the Dodgers have in store for the offseason.
I'm thinking 1 year, 15.
I'm thinking if they keep it under 20, no way Kershaw gets over 20, but like, hey, just in case. You're thinking it's Clayton Kershaw we're talking about, the future Hall of Famer. He's still a top pitcher in the league. I mean, but if they can hold him to like the 10 to 15 million range, I think they could do some stuff this offseason, which hurts to say because.
Well, they're going to do it regardless because they have a TV deal and they're just printing money at this point. But
yeah.
So
my thoughts on Kershaw right away. I mean, I do think it's his last year, but I had him going to the Rangers, which I know a lot of people said he's from Texas, but
I never really had him going anywhere else. He'll probably have a statue at Dodger Stadium.
No
he'll
doubt.
retire at Dodger. First ballot Hall of Famer. I know we hate him, but
I don't hate him. I hate him as a Dodger.
I don't care. Off the field, I don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
Bother me.
Exactly.
Padres been killing him the past couple of years. So
ask Manny Machado. I mean,
yeah.
So, but yeah,
we'll see how the velocity goes. I know he's been pretty injury prone the past few years.
Absolutely, and it's a good guy for the Dodgers to get back, especially losing Walker Buehler for all of 2023.
No, yeah.
So having Kershaw back in a rotation with Julio Urias, they're losing Tyler Anderson and Andrew Heaney also.
They're bringing up Bobby Miller this year, though.
Bobby Miller's going to pitch.
That's going to hurt us.
Piot's going to pitch. Dustin May's probably going to be back to a starter.
Mm-hmm.
They might even use Brewstar out of the rotation. I remember he was a starter when he got traded.
Did you mention Gonsolin?
I did not mention Gonsolin. So
the Dodgers are loaded. They're always going to be loaded.
They're always going to be good, but they're losing key guys. So getting Kershaw is a huge move for them, and it's a move that should have happened.
But the thing with the new scheduling, Padres have a shot at the division this year, as do the Giants, because we're not going to be playing them 100 times like we normally. 19 times. I think we have 4 series against them. If I checked,
I think it's 14 now games total. So
right. So yeah, I mean that gives you a better chance. And I mean, knock on wood, but I don't think they're going to lose every single series to the Dodgers this year.
No way. You'll see a sweep here and there from each team, I bet, but like it's not going to be.
Yeah, so this year we'll win every series and then lose to them in the playoffs.
I hope not. I hope not. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
You guys want to talk about Justin Turner real quick?
Oh yeah. That's right.
You guys want to give predictions?
Justin Turner.
Predictions for what?
Justin Turner?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin Turner. Save all the other ones for another.
Yeah.
All right.
So, the Dodgers declined Justin Turner's club option, $16 million, which good for them. It was a $2 million buyout. You're not going to be paying Justin Turner $16 million to play an average third base now. The dude's like, 35 years old?
Yeah, I got two scenarios with Turner. I got Justin Turner, that is.
Yeah. We'll go trade Turner another time.
I could see him, but I could see him coming back for less money.
I do too.
He's still a valuable piece. You know, he can DH, play third.
Yeah.
If he leaves, I got him going to the Angels. He was committed to Cal State Fullerton. So
wasn't committed. He played there.
Oh, he played there. Okay,
he played there.
I mean, he was committed to play there.
He's from Long Beach, so
yeah.
Right. So I think he would stay in the area. Plus, I'm pretty sure his wife is like a model or something like that. So she probably needs to stay in that area. Anyways.
I'm right there with you, but I don't.
Or the Rangers. I could see the Rangers too.
I could see the Rangers also, but I think he resigns with the Dodgers. I think this is more so just like hey, we're not going to pay you $16 million, but we're willing to bring you back for a good amount of money. The fans love him. The team loves him. He's been a Dodger basically his whole career. Who remembers when he played for the Mets? I mean, nobody does.
I do. I got his autograph when he was on the Mets. He's actually a pretty nice guy.
He's absolutely a really nice guy. But I can't see a future where Justin Turner is not a Los Angeles Dodger next year. He's just one of those. He's one of those guys.
All right, it's going to sound crazy. Justin Turner will be a Colorado Rocky in 2023.
Oh, no.
1 year, $15 million.
No way. No way.
I'm calling it.
That would be the most Rockies deal ever.
It would.
You guys are calling me crazy.
Just look at them last year. Chris Bryant.
And you know what? He's going to tear it up there.
We said that about Chris Bryant, though. I mean,
Chris Bryant can't stay on the field. Thank
exactly.
goodness. I mean, I loved Chris Bryant. I watched him at USD, but thank goodness we didn't get him.
But they have Ryan McMahon at third base.
Right. And then first base is occupied.
Yeah, CJ Cron. Who's that guy?
He's gonna DH anyways.
What if the Rockies pick up like an even better DH guy, Joey Gallo?
I have an idea of who the Rockies are gonna get in my. We made a spreadsheet for our free agent predictions that we'll show eventually. Probably on the next show. We'll go tier A, tier B, tier C, and then we'll do some trade predictions right before the winter meetings. We should go to the winter meetings. They're in San Diego.
Sneak in like Hogwatch.
You don't have to sneak in, dude. I went a few years ago and met like Jim Tomei, Harold Reynolds, Greg Amsinger. You just walk in. You just can't wear a jersey in there or anything, you know?
Just wear suits. Show up in suits.
Wear a collared shirt.
Just rent tuxes. Yeah. Live podcast in the winter meetings.
Yeah, sunglasses on the entire time.
I don't know. Seems like something we could do.
All right, is that it?
I mean, anything else? Do you want to like discuss anything other than baseball?
Oh, do you want to talk about the Silver Sluggers real quick?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Just real quick.
Let me just say right now,
Manny
Machado
absolutely robbed.
No bias there. There is no bias there.
Manny Machado is gonna play. He's gonna get 0 awards for that monster year he just had, where he carried what should have been 4th place team all the way to the NLCS by himself with no protection in the lineup.
I wouldn't say NLCS by himself. I would say carried him to the playoffs basically by himself.
He has 4 postseason home runs.
Yeah, but he didn't carry the team throughout the postseason. But still.
Or whatever. But
still, if Manny Machado...
okay, regardless of postseason, these are regular season awards.
Oh, yeah,
he's going to get none of them. Literally none of them.
If Manny Machado doesn't have the year that he has for the Padres, you're looking at just as bad of a finish as last year. There'll be a team probably hits under 500.
Worse.
You don't even trade for Juan Soto if Manny Machado isn't that good.
Let me tell you, without Manny Machado, the Diamondbacks jumped the Padres in the middle of the year, and the Giants would have been already ahead of the Padres.
Absolutely.
So the Padres would have been a 4th place team.
Absolutely. Because who was the best hitter after Machado? Ha-Seong Kim?
Jerks and Profar.
Yeah, literally.
Let me say something right now. Manny had such a good year that there's speculation that he might opt out of a $300 million contract to get
even more money.
That's what kind of year he just had.
Yeah.
I think he's going to opt out. The thing that scares me is the team that scares me is the Mets. You know, Buck Showalter.
I could see it.
Money. But I think he stays. I think he opts out, then he gets 5 years, like 180 or something like that.
I could absolutely see him opting out and then restructuring a contract with us. But I mean, we'll see how he does next year.
Anyway. Keep him in a Padres jersey. Do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
They have to. I mean, look at that trio: Soto, Machado, Tatis. You can't not have that for years to come.
That's another reason I think it's really important they lock up Soto this offseason because
you already have Machado and Tatis.
Manny's gonna want to win, dude. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's a Hall of Famer in our eyes. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's on the track. He's the only hitter on track for 3,000 hits, pretty much. The only realistic shot.
Trout.
Trout can't stay on the field. Manny's the only guy that plays like the entire season. He's gonna want to win, and he might need to win to get in the Hall of Fame because the way he's going right now, he's having monster years and getting zero credit for it. It's mind-boggling.
But then again, you can look at someone else in return, Tony Gwynn.
Right.
Never won a World Series, never won an MVP. Had monster years.
Yeah, but Tony Gwynn had like video game numbers where he did not strike out, and he was probably one of the most loved players in the league. Manny is the most hated player in the league, top 5 most hated player in the league.
Yeah,
that's what he doesn't have.
He's changing it, which I hope people would see. But yeah,
I wish I could credit that account that made that 30-minute video on Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know the exact title of it, but that was a good video.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Maybe we could slap it in the description or something.
Yeah. All right, Silver Slugger winners. You want to go over it? NL, Paul Goldschmidt. That was obvious. AL, Nathaniel Lowe from the Rangers. I don't really maybe Vlad, but I didn't really know his stats just off the top of my head. But I don't really know much about
Rizzo.
Yeah, maybe Rizzo. But Rizzo batted he batted like 240, but he had like 30 bombs. So,
dude, with that shift rule, Rizzo's gonna hit like 300 with depending on where he goes, 30 plus home runs.
Well,
he's gonna have MVP year next year.
Nathaniel Lowe hit 302 with 27 home runs. So
okay, yeah, he should. I guess that's good.
Yeah. Second base, NL Jeff McNeil, batting title leader, makes sense.
Yeah.
AL Jose Altuve. I mean, it's Jose Altuve we're talking about. Makes sense. Third base, we've already gone over Manny Machado versus Nolan Arenado. And then Jose Ramirez. I mean, it's Jose Ramirez.
NL's wrong, AL's right.
Yeah. Shortstop, Trey Turner, MVP candidate. Yeah, really good year. He deserves it.
Top Xander 5 player in baseball, in my opinion.
Absolutely. No doubt. Xander Bogaerts. 307.
I can't really think of any other shortstops that had a better year than Bogaerts. I mean, Tim Anderson was out all year pretty much.
Correa was pretty nice.
Yeah, Carlos Correa.
Correa was pretty good, yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like he was very streaky. So I'm cool with I don't think Bogaerts is the wrong choice, really.
Yeah. AL outfielders, Aaron Judge, 62 home runs.
I don't think
what more can be said. 62. I know you're joking, but I don't know. Okay. Julio. Julio Rodriguez, rookie of the year. He had a really good year. He had 28 bombs, 25 stolen bases, 280, I think it was average. And then
guy's a monster.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout he had a crazy week. Didn't he hit a home run 8 games in a row?
Yes, he did. He hit 40 home runs this season.
Trout is Trout.
He's missing 40 games.
Get it this year.
40 home runs.
He should have gotten it this year like he did. And he will always get it. Just like Juan Soto had a down year this year, but he's going to get it because of his name.
Yeah. NL winners, Mookie Betts, MVP candidate.
Oh, who got it for the DH for AL? Jordan.
I'm not there yet. Yeah, it was Jordan.
Okay. My bad.
NL outfielders, Mookie Betts. Yeah. Kyle Schwarber, NL home run leader, 46 home runs. Makes sense. And then Juan Soto.
I'm sure there was a better option than Soto, but the other two are fine with me. And I'm cool with Soto winning. I'm a Soto fan.
I think if you're looking based off of the first half, Juan Soto deserves it hands down. His time in the Padres uniform could definitely contradict that a little bit, but I'm sure the stats are there.
Yeah, we haven't even seen half of what Soto's capable of.
Oh, exactly. And getting Tatis back next year also should make him that much better.
His RBI numbers will go up.
Absolutely.
If Tatis is Tatis, I mean, he's coming off of 3 big surgeries, but
it all depends on what we do this offseason also. So,
man, Tatis, that 1, 2, 3 of Tatis, Soto, and Machado, dude.
That's gonna be so good.
That's why you re-sign a Robert Suarez for $46 million, because you don't get that every year. You don't get that. You've never had that in a Padres team. That's why you sign a Robert Suarez, because you're that close.
Absolutely. Catchers, AL, Alejandro Kirk. Really good year. Stud. And then JT Realmuto.
Good year.
What more can be said? DH, Yordan Alvarez. Honestly, if Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani didn't exist, that's probably your MVP. But
now the AL, or in the LDH, kind of
Josh Bell.
Joshua Bell.
My goodness. Worst first baseman I have ever watched in a Padres uniform. Worse than Eric Hosmer.
The worst hitter I have ever seen in a Padres uniform.
I will say, though, I'll give him credit. He had some very clutch home runs in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did. When he hits the ball, he hits it by accident. But when it goes, it goes. In the NLCS, we were all there. All 3 of us were there. He had an RBI single to right field. He didn't know he hit the ball. He thought he hit it in the air. Yeah, he stood there.
He looked up in the air, and then he's like, "Oh shit, it's in right field." All right.
You know, I think he is not a bad player though.
He's just
because
he's. Go ahead.
He wasn't the only one. Soto came over here and wasn't very good. Drury came over here, had some big hits, but he still wasn't very good.
Yeah.
You know, and then
it's the ballpark.
When you have like, what was it, the least amount of runs scored at Petco? Like that is like very worrisome.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since the ballpark opened in 2004, I mean, it's always been a pitcher's park. I'd say like maybe second hardest place to score runs other than San Francisco. And it topped it this year. I mean, it had those few years like when Renfroe was on the team or during the pandemic year where I think they were juicing the baseballs and it looked like maybe the stadium wouldn't hold balls anymore, but it's back to normal. It's completely back to normal.
Stadium I do think is somehow worse than Petco when it comes to run support. Comerica in Detroit. My gracious, what a ballpark that is.
Yeah, that place is huge.
Like center field, maybe 15-foot wall, I think it is, and it's like 420. 420. Yeah, 420 back.
Yeah.
Utility. Luis Arias. I think he was the AL batting title. So
he's really good.
He is really good.
He was such a chicken when it came to the batting title, though. Judge would have passed him. Judge would have got that was just bad for baseball. That's horrible. He would have had a triple crown and hit 62 home runs. That would have been like the greatest statistical year of all time. And
still would have.
Luis Arias and his cowardness robbed us of seeing that.
Yeah. So Judge
That's
hitting.
What I have to say. With that being said, he should have gotten the
Judge hitting the triple crown. Still finishes second to Ohtani and MVP. You already know what happened.
No way. I don't think so. It's a combination of the season he just had and these voters. We all know about the East Coast bias. Yeah. So I think Judge has it wrapped up.
There's also an Ohtani bias, but
there is an Ohtani bias.
Doesn't mean I can't see Ohtani just coming out of nowhere and winning it because he's great. But I think Judge has it.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Brandon Drury, utility winner for the Silver Slugger.
The GOAT.
Correct.
What a trade that was.
Do you want the Pods to bring him back?
Oh, hands down. That man is truly quickly becoming one of my favorite players.
I could go either way, honestly. I'm not going to lose sleep if he goes,
I
especially
don't
if
want
he goes outside of the division.
I don't want to spend too much on him, but
I don't think they're prepared to spend that much money on him.
yeah,
We lost Max, but we'll get him back.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to spend. I mean, obviously their priority was to sign Suarez. If their priority was to sign Drury, it would have been done, you know?
Exactly. I think
Drury
he is up there to re-sign, but
he's going to get 3 years, close to 40 million, if not more.
yeah, he'll get 10
I'm
plus.
cool with letting that walk.
Yeah, he'll get 10 plus.
Yeah, and he's coming off of a career year, and he hasn't done much else.
Absolutely.
With below average defense everywhere.
Yeah, but he can play every infield position. So
right.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you, Max? You want Drury back?
100%.
Love that man.
Now, do I think he's going to have as good of a year as last year? No, because he played most of his games in Great American. But I think
Great American Small Park.
Yes.
Beautiful stadium. But
you got to bring back a guy who can play almost every position and pop one out every couple games.
Exactly.
And he had a lot of RBI too.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know the exact number, but he was always knocking guys in.
I think if you get him and then another guy to platoon him at first with, right there, because Drury can hit lefties really well. Get a guy that can hit righties really well. I think you're set.
Yeah, but you're going to see Drury play, not just first base.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
I think next priority for the Pods is to get a first baseman.
Well, Nick Martinez, and then get a first baseman.
Well,
or starting pitching.
I say Nick Martinez, and then the next domino is to see what happens with Profar.
I love Profar, but
I don't want Profar back for more than $9 million. And he's a Scott Boras client. He's going to get more than $9 million.
I think Profar's gone.
I think if Profar is gone and they know he's gone, you're gonna see them sign a corner outfielder before a first baseman, because in their mind they know they have Jake Cronenworth who can play first.
Yeah, and Hassan Kim can easily slide to second.
Not to mention Luis Campusano playing first base in his Dominican Winter League. Everyone's talking about.
Cool with, go ahead. My bad.
Everyone's talking about Padres getting a first baseman, but I think we're going to see a corner outfielder before a first baseman.
Preview to our free agent predictions. I think this is the year Joey Gallo wears the brown and gold.
He's going to be a Milwaukee Brewer.
League minimum deal. I don't mind it at all.
I think Joey Gallo.
Dodgers used him perfectly last year.
I think the guy we get is Joey Gallo or Mitch Haniger.
I would be okay with either.
I'd be so down with Mitch Haniger.
Mitch Haniger, I think he plays a pretty good right field too, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to say he could DH, but I think he's got a cannon out there.
Best case scenario, Jock Peterson. But he's going to want the bag, so I think.
And here's a guy that not a lot of people are talking about is David Peralta. Had a really solid year.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't play him against the lefty, but.
Right. I'm cool with him being a table setter, like towards the bottom of the order, like 7th or 8th.
Mm-hmm. And he knows Petco Park too. He mashed against the Padres.
He kills the Padres.
So I wouldn't be opposed to that. But that's a topic we can get into in the predictions we have another time. And anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nah.
I think we're good. Yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this up then.
I mean, I could go all night, but
I could too.
We save it for the next episode.
We're already at 45 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. We planned on going for 10.
10, 15, turned into 40.
Low-key thought we were going to struggle with this, but it's pretty good.
So that free agency one is going to be like 2 hours.
Well, okay, I say we break it down into 3s, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out. But next time you're going to see from us, it's going to be with our prediction videos. Yep. So
unless something
sometime
crazy
early next week too.
Yeah. Unless something crazy happens and
right.
We get
impromptu episode.
You'll get an episode of you guys at Chipotle, me in the car.
Yeah. So I think
emergency episode.
I think Monday is what we're thinking for that. So expect
So Sunday around 1:00, get ready for the Jacob deGrom signed with the San Diego Padres.
Dude,
3-year, $136 million.
I'd be down for that, but like that's a lot of money.
I would. No chance.
I don't think they're gonna do it, but like
No
I
way.
would love that.
I would rather have a Carlos Rodon and an Anthony Rizzo.
I'd rather go Chris Baston and Kodai Senga.
All right, we're going too far.
We gotta say this for
wrap
next
it
time.
up. Do
So
your little
until next time, thank you for coming to watch In Play. I am your host Bryce Bautista, along with my co-hosts Jacob Redondo and Max Reyes. See you guys next time. Have a good night.
Peace
out.